Hello students, myself Anirban Bashurai Chaudhuri, Lab Assistant Department of Chemistry, JS College of Engineering, Kalyani. Now you are watching the lab video, and this class is for diploma students, first year students. The paper name is Applied Chemistry Lab and the paper code is BS109.
Hello students, today I am going to show you the video of normal acid base titration method. Okay, so in this practical the aim of the practical is or experiment is determination of the unknown strength of NaOH. You know NaOH is the secondary standard solution, so you have to standardize that NaOH solution by a standard oxalic acid solution, which is a primary standard solution. So oxalic acid solutions are prepared and the strength of the oxalic acid is known to you. Now by that known strength of oxalic acid we have to determine the unknown strength of NaOH solution. Now or sodium hydroxide solution. Now for this method what are the reagents are required? First of all, oxalic acid is required. It is there in the volumetric flask. The strength of the oxalic acid which is prepared, that is 0.1006 normal. This is the strength of oxalic acid which is provided. Now the unknown strength of NaOH, approximately it is prepared. Now we have to find out the strength of that sodium hydroxide solution. Okay. Now the indicator which is used in this experiment, you know, for titration indicator is used because the role of indicator for titration, it will change its color. By changing its color, it will indicate the end point of the titration or experiment, okay, or reaction. So here we are using phenolphthalein indicator. Okay. Now the apparatus which are required: one conical flask. This is the conical flask, 250 ml. Then 10 ml pipette, because we have to pipette out 10 ml. This is graduated pipette. Look, over the pipette some graduations are made. This is the graduated pipette. Okay. And volumetric flask which containing that oxalic acid solution, and also one burette. So burette is required. Okay. So this is the burette. Now what is the process? Now before going to start the experiment, I have to say something regarding that chemistry practical. Whenever you do any practical in the chemistry lab, physically, that time before going to start the experiment, we have to wash or rinse the glass apparatus very carefully. So first of all the apparatus should be rinsed with tap water, then by distilled water. And in case of pipette and burette, that pipette and burette are also rinsed with the solution. And that means whatever solutions we are taking in the burette or whatever we are pipetting by the pipette, by that particular solution we have to rinse it also. It is only case for burette and pipette, remember. But other solution, other apparatus like conical flask, beakers, those should not be rinsed with the solution. Clear? Now what is the procedure? Now first of all we have to take the unknown strength of NaOH in the burette. So already that burette is filled with NaOH solution. So unknown strength of NaOH should be taken in the burette, and while you are taking the solution in the burette, that time whatever desired volume you have to take, and you have to check the volume or reading like this. Suppose in the burette, over the burette some marks are also there, and some according to the required volume reading which you have to take. Up to that you have to make up the volume. Okay. While you are make up the volume or pouring something, after pouring that you have to make up the volume. Now up to that tip part, you have to fill up the solution. Clear? And whenever we fill up anything in the burette, there should not be any air gap. And while you are checking the mark, then your eye level should be parallel to that line. Otherwise, parallax error will be coming. Okay. So how will put the solution into it? you just go to the basin, incline the burette little bit, and if funnel is available, then suppose this is the funnel. If we insert the funnel into that volumetric flask, then through that funnel we can pour the solution. Or if funnel is not available, then you can also directly fill up the solution into the burette by incline the burette like this, and gently have to fill from the either volumetric flask or from any container. Okay, now already it is filled with NaOH solution. Now you have to hang it into the burette clamp. Now regarding burette, already I discussed in previous another class that this is the burette. There is a stopcock. So you have to, if you are a right-handed, use your left hand to operate the stopcock. Okay, and hold the conical with your right hand for titration. Okay. Now, next thing what you have to do, in the conical flask you have to pipette it out 10 ml. This is 10 ml pipette. So by that 10 ml pipette you have to pipette it out 10 ml of known strength of oxalic acid into the conical flask. Okay. Now, what is the process of pipetting? You have to pipette the solution by mouth. If the solutions are harmless, then we can pipette it out by mouth. But if the solution is like considered acid, phenol, formaldehyde, so those things should not be pipetted out by mouth. Then sucker should be used. Okay. But here we are using the pipette by sucking the oxalic acid from the volumetric flask like this. So as I told, over the pipette there are some marks are available. So up to the desired mark you have to take the solution. Then it is considered as 10 ml or 5 ml or 25 ml, whatever volume is written over the pipette. So first of all you have to take little bit much more than whatever the required volume. Then you have to make up the volume like this by dropping it gently and see the level. And as it is a colorless solution, always see the lower meniscus. One meniscus is there, you know. So up to the lower meniscus you have to check if the solution is colorless. But for colored solution, always you have to take the upper one, because for aqueous solution, as it is a aqueous solution, lower meniscus is available, but it is not properly visible for colored solution. That's why whenever you take any colored solution, either in the burette or pipette, then see the upper meniscus. Now here it is a colorless solution, so you have to check the lower meniscus, and very gently you have to drop from the pipette and make up the volume. Now, while you make up the volume, while you are checking that measurement, your eye level should be parallel to that line. Then you have to transfer it into the conical flask like this. Now while you are transferring that aliquot, you will never blow the pipette. We never ever blow the pipette. The solutions are flown downward automatically. You just open your finger and it will automatically flow down to the conical flask. What you have to do, you just touch the tip of the pipette at the end of the bottom of the conical flask, then it is okay. Now why you should not pipette it blow the pipette? Look at the pipette, there is a tip part. So excluding that, and in the tip part some solutions just remain. See, if we blow the pipette, what happened? That portion, the solution is also there into the conical flask. Now what happened? While it is calibrated in the factory, then excluding that cone part, it is calibrated as 10 ml or 5 ml or 25 ml, whatever desired volume written over the pipette. Then while we are blowing the solution, what happened? All the solutions are there into the conical. Then what are the required volume? Say 10 ml or 25 ml. Then if we blow it, it is not exactly 10, the excess of 10. So errors are coming. That's why we never blow the pipette. Remember that thing. Okay. Then what you have to do? We are taking 10 ml of oxalic acid in it. Then we have to add the indicator, that is the phenolphthalein indicator. So give 1 drop of phenolphthalein indicator in it. Now what should be the color? In acid, phenolphthalein has no color. So 1 drop of phenolphthalein is there. Now we are going to start the titration. Now the color change should be colorless to pink because NaOH is there. So in that medium it is turns to pink color. So the end point, or whenever end point is coming, you will see that pink color. Now I am going to start the titration. While you are going to start the titration, that time you have to check your burette. What solutions are taken in the burette. In that case, this is NaOH solution, unknown strength of. So you have to check the reading, which is your initial reading, and note down in your copy. Suppose the initial reading, whatever it is there, it is at 10. So you have to write down initial reading as 10. Clear? Now when we do the titration, you have to keep one white page under the conical flask. Okay, and the process of titration is like this. You have to hold the conical flask like that. Okay, don't hold it like this. So if you hold the conical like this and you have to start the conical, then you cannot see the color change. So better you have to hold the conical like this and gently have to shake the solution while the titration process is going on. Now the titration process is like this. From the burette we have to add drop by drop solution into the conical flask. This is the process. So use your left hand to operate the stopcock. Be very careful and don't give so many drops in one time. This is the process of titration. Now check the initial reading and start it like this. Okay. So add drop by drop from the burette and always continue. We have to stir the solution. Start the conical flask. Okay. Okay, now see. Look, the drops are there. Okay. Now gently have to always stir the solution. After adding few drop, you see some color is coming, desired color, which is the pink color. The pink color is coming and it is disappeared while you are stirring the conical. This is called local point. Some pink color is appeared into the conical flask and again it will gone while you are stirring. So in that method you have to continue the titration up to what? When that in one drop all the solution color change to pink, then you have to stop the titration and close the stopper. Look, pink color is coming and disappearing. Can you see the pink color? Look, that pink color is coming. In one drop color should be changed. So be careful, don't give so many drops in one time. Add drop by drop from the burette and continue. You have to start the conical. And be patient. In that time your concentration should be at the conical flask where the color changes take place. Don't see the burette reading, it will come automatically. Endpoint is very nearer. Look, already I think endpoint is coming. Yeah, look. I am giving the one drop and look at the color. Okay. Now look, all the color turns to pink. Okay, so this is the end of the titration. When you see that pink color is appeared, for this titration you have to close the stopper. This is the closed position. Okay, and when you rotate anti-clockwise the 90 degree, this is the open position. Okay, then what you have to do, now you have to check the reading. So first you just open the burette from the stand or clamp and see the reading. And while you are seeing the reading, again your eye level should be there. Okay, so this is your final reading. So initially we are taking the reading of the burette, some reading of the burette, and finally whenever that color turns to pink color, colorless to pink is appear, then you have to check the burette reading. This is your final reading. So final minus initial, you will get your actual volume. That means how much NaOH is consumed for titration or reaction, you will understand. Okay, so the first reading, whatever whenever we going to start the titration, we are checking one reading, that is the initial reading, and after doing the titration, that is after end point when color turns to colorless to pink, then you have to check the reading, that is the final reading. So final minus initial, you will get your actual volume which is consumed, which is required for neutralization. Clear? Then you have to do the titration again. That means 3 observations you have to take total, and then we have to fill up the table. One table is there, then you have to fill up the table. Okay, so this is all about the normal acid base method, oxalic acid versus NaOH titration. So afterward we have to fill up the table, and some little calculations are there. After doing the calculation, we can understand, we can know that what is the strength of the NaOH, unknown strength of NaOH. It is known to you after doing the calculation. Okay.